Birth is free. Motherhood is free. Pregnancy is free. But society will tell you that it's very expensive, that you have to have it all together before you have a baby, that you have to plan out every single detail. People are getting more and more and more stressed about having a baby, especially in regards to finances. And obviously, you are going to invest in your child. When your child gets older, there are obviously things that you need to buy. But not as many things as we're made to believe, especially in the Western world. And this is another reason why I chose to live in quote-unquote developing third world countries, even though I don't really like those terms, because who is to say what is developed and what's not? I feel like people being kind to one another and sharing with one another is more of a developed trait of a human being than having tall skyscrapers, but maybe you disagree. Anyway, birth is completely free, and I didn't pay a thing for my birth because I didn't hire a midwife, and maybe I can talk about why in another video, but really it's not necessary, especially if you are low risk and you believe in yourself and you're healthy, and yeah, you don't have to hire somebody to help you birth your baby. Your body births your baby, and that's completely free. Pregnancy is free. You might have to eat a little more, so that might cost you more. But especially with a natural birth, you are going to have free food for your baby. So milk is completely free, and it's going to be flowing if you are healthy, hydrated, and if you have a natural birth, so the hormones are balanced and you're producing a lot of milk. You don't have to hire a doula. You don't have to hire anybody for support. It's my belief that society should be like this anyway. You should already have close friends and family and your partner that's there to support you. If you are lacking that, of course, you can hire somebody to do extra for you. But I just want to let everybody know that birth doesn't have to be this huge, costly event. This is just like marriage in the West or in other countries that do it so extravagantly. They spend thousands and thousands of dollars on one single day, where I'm not saying weddings are all bad. I think they can be beautiful, but at the same time, it puts a lot of stress on people, and so does birth. But this was free, and there are obviously things that you want to prepare. I talk about this in my other video, how to prepare for a natural birth. But this is where I pretty much talk about preparing the mentality, because this is the most important of all things. But little things that you might want to buy, such as extra towels, herbs for the placenta, but you can always forage those yourself. There are always ways to find things cheaper or even for free. And this is kind of what I want to get across, just living in other countries other than the US, which is where I'm from, because I feel like it's harder to do there. Although there are stores like Goodwill, or if people have friends, then you can have clothing exchanges, things like that. But I've just noticed in these other countries, it's much more common for friends to share with each other. As I've been here in South America, I've met other moms of babies with older babies than mine. If they've even given me clothes that their baby has grown out of. So it's like all of these things that we think we need to spend so much money on. We think we need to go buy 100% new stuff for our baby. That's not really true. And that's also showing them that love can be bought, and that materials are more important than affection, which is the opposite of what I'm trying to show my baby. We even don't really buy toys for her. She's still pretty young, but we believe that with less toys and more minimalism, that she will be even more creative and intelligent, because she'll be in nature more. She'll be more inspired to create things out of natural materials, rather than just putting plastic toys with fake sounds in front of her. That's more stimulation and distraction than it is anything else, and especially not any technology. Obviously, she's way too young for that, but people these days are already putting phones in front of their kids' faces, and they think they're watching like an educational program, but there's really no such thing, especially when they're under 2 years old. There's no such thing as educational technology. It's just a distraction, and it is creating way too much stimulation in their brain and visualization as well. And so pregnancy, birth, and after birth don't need to be as costly as we think. You don't need to buy a new mobile for your baby. You don't need to buy the newest car seat. You don't need to buy $1,000 machine to help you get the milk out. You don't need to do those things. And that was a big misconception and a worry of mine. Oh, I need to make so much money, but actually it's usually better if you work a bit less and you're just more present with your baby. You know, they're going to be more connected, more intelligent, more creative. Other things as far as birth, I looked up how much it would cost in the States. It was thousands and thousands of dollars to do it at a natural center. Hospital bills can be even more. And these people are typically putting you through trauma because they're not listening to your wishes. And you are led to believe them more than you're led to believe your own intuition. And that in itself is super costly. So it's not only the money that you're paying, but the energy that you're paying and you're giving to other people, where you can just find a nice spot in nature or in your home and give birth free. So there's a new movement called free birthing. This has nothing to do with money and more to do with feeling free and freely birthing in your own space with your partner, with yourself, without any quote-unquote professionals, because you are the professional of your body. But free birthing to me also means doing it with a very low cost, because that's really how nature intended. No animals are spending money on birthing, obviously, and their babies are pretty healthy compared to humans. And if you think about indigenous cultures and other cultures around the world, or people that don't necessarily have access to hospital environments, or they don't live in a big city, then they are also birthing completely free in the comfort of their own homes. So not only are you saving a lot of money, you're also feeling more free and freeing up energy in your heart, in your body, for you and your baby and your family. And that to me is a beautiful thing. So I just wanted to share that really this whole process, I haven't had to spend like a ton of money. I've pretty much been living the same amount. And especially living in the tropics as well, you can survive off of a lot less money. So then you don't have to work as much as a mom. You can either stay at home with your baby, which I obviously believe is the best, especially when they're under 6 months, 3 months especially. We should really try to focus as much attention as we can on them, because they completely need us. They're completely dependent on us. Other than that, I've spent obviously more on food, but I've been eating really healthy local food, so that also has been really cost effective. But I've probably been eating not double, but close to that as what I did before, because I'm breastfeeding my child, and that is the equivalent of running a 10K, as they say. Other than that, clothes, family bought me clothes. If I didn't have them, obviously I would have to buy some things, but there's always secondhand stores, and then connecting with other moms, doing a clothing exchange, and then you would pass that on. When you have a new pregnant friend, you would give them their clothes. So another mom who with an older baby is giving you their clothes, and you do the same, so you keep passing it forward. And then if you have a pregnant friend in the future, you would cook for them, and then you hope that someone cooks for you when you're having your baby, when you're in the early postpartum days. But yeah, nature typically provides most things that we need. I could even live even more cheap if I wanted to, if I really wanted to do exchanges, because we have a big garden here, so I could, exchange fruits for other fruits, exchange lemons for apples, exchange bananas for papayas, things like that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say today. Don't let capitalism and consumerism trick you into thinking you need to be a millionaire before you give yourself the best gift in life, which is a baby.